Just come to us. Come to us. This is more important. I haven't seen this guy in better part of a week. Let's bring him in, Mr. Stephen Bannon. But let me just say this. Stephen Bannon. This is
Hold it. Hang on. You were supposed to meet me in Butterworth. Were you in town?
Steve, I was in town. I called. I texted you. You didn't answer me. I said, let me take you to dinner, have a drink at Butterworth.
Well, hold it.
And then our friend Raheem said he wasn't going to be there. So.
No, because during the time of war, I hunkered down in the bunker. But you got to give me more than a couple. Here's how bowling works. Here's how bowling works. I'm going to tell you how bowling works. Bowling's the kind of guy, he comes in town, has the whole thing planned, and he texts you like 4 in the afternoon, hey, what do you want to grab a drink? Because what happens is the thing he's got lined up is falling out.
No,
so you're like the backup to the.
No,
you're the backup to the backup plan.
Ask Cameron if I told him I was going to be in town the day before. Ask Cameron; he'll tell you. I gave him a heads up.
Okay.
So listen, I was going to open this segment with: is this the Steve Bannon that's on the top of the Daily Mail right now, the main story, or is this the Steve Bannon that's on top of media? You're the most important person in me. Everyone wants to know what's. Are you going to be on The View tomorrow?
No. Hang on. I want to tell, my agent told me this. It said they noticed an inflection point when I started doing the hard changeover from the Eric Bolling show. So I'm getting a little of that 5 magic. Right?
Oh,
you've laid some hands on me. So
I'll tell you when it happened. I'm going to tell you exactly when it happened. I'm going to tell you exactly when. Here's what happened. I was with Cuomo on Patrick David's podcast. And at the end of the segment, we were talking about MAGA, and I said, "You're true north on MAGA. You're the Don of the MAGA world." And Cuomo and I were going back and forth about it, and I pulled out the shirt, Steve Bannon's my spirit animal, and all of a sudden, everyone picked it up. Like, Bannon is MAGA, and you're crushing it. You're crushing it.
Stop. Thank you. No, the president is our. But Cuomo always introduced me. He says that you're the spirit animal of MAGA, so I appreciate that.
He stole it.
Eric, thank you so much.
He stole it. Hey,
stole it. Lift it.
Help us out here. We're going through this whole, where's MAGA? Is true MAGA behind bombing Iran? Is true MAGA behind Trump no matter what? Is true MAGA, America first? We don't want to touch, and we want to send our kids into war anywhere. MAGA guru, help us out. Where is true MAGA North?
No, I think, listen, as you know, with President Trump, he's weighing alternatives, weighing options. Look, he said today that a couple of things. Tucker called him and apologized. He's all good with Tucker. You got, when he's putting up the flag, which Bolling, you got to understand, how genius is that? We've had the White House since, 18, when Dolly Madison was there. Even she didn't think of, we've never had a big flagpole with a massive American flag. It's just so incredible. So President Trump is weighing and measuring his options, and clearly he's getting a lot of pressure from the outside. We are, people are adamant, hey, we don't want to get into another war for the simple reason is that this is what led to your rise to power, and you're doing so much that's so great, and we got so much to do. We know how you're going to get tangled up in just the country. But, right, what you have to weigh and measure your options. When you make a decision, come out like only Trump can do, explain it to people, walk people through it. The MAGA movement's going to back President Trump if he walks through just his logic, how he came to the decision. And I happen to believe right now that it's not a foregone conclusion. It's not a foregone conclusion. We should go through more information, more details, and at some point in time, with polling or whatever, show President Trump what the feeling is, because these are his hardest core followers. These are the people that really came on board the earliest because we want to get out of the foreign wars, we wanted to seal the border. We wanted to confront China and bring manufacturing jobs back. Those were his 3, what he originally ran on. And so his most loyal followers, and if you see, it's guys like Gates, it's guys like Marjorie Taylor Greene, all the hardest of the hardcore of MAGA is kind of uniting this. So we have a lot of work to do over the next 72 hours. Yeah, but we'll do it.
Is this fair to say that in the same way that I don't love tariffs, I still want Trump to win. I want it to be right. I want America to succeed. I also don't want to have involvement in foreign wars other than support, even if it has to be financial. This is one I guess we can get behind. And still, is this a fair assessment? Because I think if you trust Trump, it's going to turn out okay, even if he's taking paths that may not look the right way right now. Fair?
Fair. I do think, of course, tariffs, we're right in that and you're wrong, but it's different. So because we're right on
the jury's out of that. I think the jury's still out of that, my friend. I'm not taking the L for that much. Yet. I'm not taking
no. By the way, he's still a neoliberal neocon, but that's okay. He's in his rehab program from Fox. We got to repurpose Bolling. No, this is so fundamental to the movement, and he's got so much going on that's so great. And people want to see that succeed. The only way we save this country is with President Trump and his leadership. That's why this thing that's so foundational and fundamental, and I think it's the Israeli. My mantra right now, as I said, they should finish what they started. They started this, and yes, President Trump has been adamant. We've been adamant. The mullahs, the Ayatollah in that crowd can't get nuclear weapons. We happen to think through economic warfare because when we put sanctions on in the first term, they almost overthrew the government. Not totally, but they had, and remember in 22, they had people in the streets for like 5 days, right? So these things are doable either through coercive diplomacy, which I think you're seeing now. President Trump just said they called him up. He's thinking of bringing him to the White House. There's a long way to go before they start dropping bombs there. And we're going to break it down tonight in the 5 o'clock show. The Israelis should finish what they started. The United States is here. We don't need to bomb tomorrow like we didn't need to bomb last Thursday. That is just not true. We did not need to go. The Israelis did not need to go. There was no pressure that had to happen last Thursday. That could have been developed much more so the people can get behind it. Right now, most Americans walk around going, what are we doing in Iran?
Only a few seconds. Here's my stance with this whole divide, whether there's one there or not. We had the Democrats painted in the corner. They were failing. They didn't have policy that the American people wanted. They didn't have a leader. And then this split when Levin is arguing with Tucker and Hannity is on one side and Bannon's on the other. Doesn't it light their fire again a little bit? We don't want that. Let's put them out. Let's put them down the way we hope Israel puts down Iran while they have the chance.
Right. But I don't want to put them down by agreeing with those guys. I think their behavior in Fox, they should be. And remember, they're not MAGA at all. They turned on Trump in 2021. Let's tell it like it is.
Oh, they did. Yeah.
Murdoch put in there. You know this.
Well, see, I'm not sure they were ever Trump. I'm not sure from day one they were ever Trump.
You know, I don't want to get into the behind the scenes things, but you could tell stories for hours about what the reality was there. And Murdoch was very upfront. He was never for Trump. And those guys in 21, when this audience hunkered down and joined the precinct strategy and got everything done, this audience was his hardest core followers. They had Ron DeSantis on every night. You talk about Bibi doing, this thing of Bibi over the last 30 years that it's only, 12 months away and they're playing it all the time. You could go do Levin of all the times he had Ron DeSantis and all the times that Fox had Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, right. And they promoted them all in 21 and 22.
Well, in 16 they wanted Jeb Bush. In 20 they wanted Ron DeSantis. There's no question they've never been. They take Trump and hold their nose because they know Trump brings a massive audience. I'm eating into your time. I'm guessing because we have another handover, you're going to have some massive media opportunity tomorrow.
Dude,
The View or something. I don't know what. ABC.
I'm giving you credit, Bolling. You're more than a lucky charm. You've got media stroke. People pay attention. You're doing the hard changeover. Not only do we keep the audience and make the audience even bigger in the 5 o'clock hour, but I've now become even more relevant to the media. So thank you very much.
Have a good show. Next time in town, we'll sit together.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, can you give me more than 2 hours notice?
Talk to Cameron.
Seriously, next time, just because somebody blows you off, just give me a day before.
Since you want to throw me under the bus, on live television, did you ever open the gift that I sent you? Did you ever open the box that's sitting at the Bannon War Room Studios?
Hang on. That hasn't gone through security. Hasn't signed off on it.
It's safe. It's safe. All right, brother. Have a good show.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.